What is up, everybody? It's Lauren from Hot for Food, back with another recipe. Now, I'm just doing what I want at this point. I'm back with another video, but I didn't really have a plan, but then I saw this thing on Instagram, on the New York Times Instagram, for a creamy Meyer lemon pasta that has whole Meyer lemons in it, pith, peel, flesh, and all. And I was like, that could be good. And I've been seeing a lot of recipes on the internet using whole lemons. There's a recipe by Carly from Plant You where she blends a whole lemon to make lemon loaf, and I was like, that's genius. And it's like, yeah, let's use the whole lemon. It's so flavorful, it really packs a punch. So I'm basically gonna kind of follow the New York Times recipe but make it vegan. It's got heavy cream and butter in it, so I'm gonna obviously do vegan swaps. And then I'm gonna just sort of improvise a little bit, but generally I think I should have a fully written recipe with measurements for you by the end of this, and it's fairly simple. So let's get started. I have a pot, water on boil right now for the pasta. I'm actually using bucatini, found it at Trader Joe's, and I was like, bucatini sounds good. They use spaghetti or linguine in the original recipe. Your Meyer lemons, you're gonna want to scrub them clean with warm water. I'm using like a clean kitchen sponge to do that because, you know, there's dirt and stuff on the peel and sometimes some wax, so just kind of give them a good scrub because we are going to use the whole thing. I actually have a Meyer lemon tree outside, or it's like a bush or whatever, but it has no lemons on it. I think all the animals eat them, so I had to buy these. And these are small ones, and the recipe calls for 3 small ones, but I got a little 4th one in there because these are pretty small actually. Meyer lemons are like a little sweeter, almost like orange-like compared to a lemon. Less bitter, so there's no need to really cook these down or boil them. We're just gonna cook them in a sauce. Now there is a thing in this recipe from the New York Times, they just cook them, but they cook them in the butter and the garlic, but I feel like to give it more flavor, you wanna like almost get a char on these. So that's what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm gonna cut them into very small pieces as it says, but I'm gonna use a cast iron pan to really get a good char and develop more flavor. The New York Times recipe also calls for ground up fennel seeds. Very strong flavor. I don't really see how that goes with the pasta. So since it's like a dill, it also has fresh dill in it, I'm gonna make mine a creamy Meyer lemon dill pasta and go dill seeds. So I have dill seeds that I will grind in a spice grinder, and we'll use fresh dill at the end as well. And I might add peas because it's very springy. I feel like it needs something else in there. So as usual, I can't just keep a recipe straight up the way I found it because I feel like it's just not going to be as good. So we're going to cut these up. Let's get everything ready. We need fresh garlic, and I'm going to use a fresh bulb of garlic instead of that stuff in the jar that I showed you last week because I feel like this one really needs that fresh garlic taste. Okay, my coffee grinder switches out to be a spice grinder, which is great. It says 1 teaspoon of seeds coarsely ground, for the fennel anyway. But like I said, we're gonna do dill seeds. Are of course the seeds from the dill plant. Now I have these because I make a dill popcorn, dill pickle popcorn seasoning in my cookbook Hot for Food All Day, and we grind up dill seeds. Very nice, strong, fresh flavor. Okay, we'll just pour those in a bowl. Now let's cut up these lemons. It says to sort of cut off this and this, and you can squeeze this bit of fresh onto the servings from the ends. So we'll do that. So save those ends or butts. And now we'll see if there's any seeds. Gotta remove the seeds, that's the only thing. I mean, once we cut it up, we'll be able to do that. Sort of says to cut it up into like very coarse, or sorry, like, I forget the word they use, but just small pieces. There's a lot of seeds, geez. Finicky prep work here. But I'm gonna cook mine like more than they do in the recipe. Like in the photo of theirs, you can see the chunks of lemon in the final dish. They don't look that cooked to me. So like I said, I'm gonna char mine. So I almost want to keep some surface area, like these little, okay, you know what this reminds me of? These little pieces. When I used to go to Swiss Chalet growing up, they put these little, like literally this size of a lemon wedge in a little finger bowl to wash your hands. So this is what we're eating, people. Actually, only Canadians will know what I'm talking about, that Swiss Chalet reference. Okay, you don't need to see all this. I'm gonna cut up the lemon, I'm gonna cut up the garlic, or mince it up. It says to do thin slices, but I'd rather do minced. And we'll go to the stove and cook up these lemons as the first step. So look, you're looking for even smaller than this. I'm gonna go just in and make them all. I think we chop it up. I mean, I've never cooked like this, like whole lemons like this, so I don't know how they're gonna cook up. And it's 1 pound of pasta, so I would say we need quite a bit. Our water's ready. So make sure you get your sea salt and you heavily salt this, okay? I'm talking like 2 tablespoons at least. So it says it's 1 pound for the recipe, so that's the whole bag. The whole bag goes in, 1 pound. So I'll just keep an eye on that while we go to the pan. So I'm gonna go medium-high in my cast iron. Now it's just seasoned. There's not a lot of oil in here, but that's why it's shiny. The original recipe says to put butter in the pan and then cook the garlic and then add the lemon. But we're gonna char the lemon, so in just essentially a seasoned pan without extra grease. Oh, and by the way, I went down to 3 Meyer lemons. They actually use 2, I'm using 3, and the term is a pebbly texture. Cut them into a pebbly texture, so I think I have that. I would call it very finely chopped. So let's put the lemon directly in here, and let's char it. So that means we're gonna put it in an even layer and not touch it or stir it. Just let it get caramelized in medium-high heat. Oh, I forgot that for the heavy cream, I wanted to do cashew cream. So I'm gonna take ½ cup of cashews and blend it with water. I just wanna see what kind of color we're getting here. They are charring a little. Yes, that's nice. Yeah, I don't know why the chef who made this recipe wouldn't do that. I feel like this is a better technique. I mean, truthfully, the New York Times recipes are often overrated, which is why I'm kind of tweaking this one. So I want more color on there for sure. Nice. I don't know, I'm skeptical of eating chunks of lemon peel, but okay. I think the flavor's gonna be nice. I just don't know about this peel and the pith. Okay, at this stage, it's been going about 5 minutes. I'm gonna add half the butter, which is about 1½ tablespoons. I'm gonna turn it down to a medium because the cast iron continues to get hot as you cook. And I don't want the garlic to burn, so make sure we're at a medium, not too hot. Let's add our garlic. Let's add our dill seed. Let's salt and pepper now to taste. Well, you know what? I like to salt at the end because the pasta water is salted, which we're going to be adding. The pasta itself will be tasted salty, so I just want to be, mindful of how much salt I'm adding. That's looking good. Okay, let's add the rest of the butter now. I guess we could have just added it all in. Just wanted to see what was happening. Frozen peas, let's add those to the pan because the pasta still has a little while to go. Okay, so I'm on a medium low. I don't want to be too hot when I add this. Thicken. Let's add ground pepper. Quite a bit, actually. Let's add, to start, ½ cup of the starchy pasta water and then let this simmer. You can see how it's thickening the cashew cream when I push this sort of roux spoon like that. You see the clean lines. So that's about what you want. And we can continue to add pasta water to make this the right consistency as we toss the pasta in. So let's go right from the pot into the pan. That's how I like to do it. That way you're getting a thick sauce because the pasta's going directly in, all starchy. I will say my pan is just slightly too small, but it's okay. We'll taste it for salt. We'll add our fresh dill. Ooh. I would like a 3-inch wider pan, please, for this. You don't have a lot of room to move around. So I'm gonna go right down to a low heat so it stops kind of cooking the pasta too much. We don't want that. The peas are just on the verge of the wrong color, but we're okay. Oh, you know what I want to make? Crispy breadcrumb topping for this. Yeah, it needs it. It's how I like eating all my pasta lately, with crispy toasted breadcrumbs on top. So stand by. I gotta use a different pan for that. I would add a little bit more pasta water here, maybe a quarter of a cup, another half cup is fine. It's gonna thicken. I think we're gonna need some salt. Let's just see. And I didn't want too thick of a sauce, right? I just wanted a slight cream sauce, but nothing thick and goopy here. I'm gonna need fresh dill. Oh, the peas are just turning a bit yellowy, which I don't like. Okay, perfect coating here. Okay, I gotta be fast. I don't want this to overcook. I feel like a lot of dill will be good here. A good, like, 2 tablespoons to stir in, I think. Oh yeah, I wanted a bit more salt. I did. After tasting it. All right. Heat's going off, because what it's going to start to do is get less glistening. That's kind of what happens with cashew cream the longer it sits. So you want to serve this immediately. So to do a crispy breadcrumb, do another pan. You could have done this in advance, which I will say in the actual written recipe. Medium heat, okay? Breadcrumbs, like a panko is good. These are gluten-free panko because that's all I have. I'm gonna do just a wee bit more butter in there with them, okay? Doesn't need to be a lot. And then more Meyer lemon zest just at the end off the heat. Just think it will help a little bit. So you'll toast these and they'll get, you know, a little browner and crispy. They're already pretty crisp, but ideally you would melt the butter first and then put the breadcrumbs in, but who cares? But the fresh dill is important. Better than fennel seed. I don't know about that fennel seed. You just don't want these to burn, okay? So you're kind of just tossing them occasionally here, getting the, again, if the butter was already melted, that'd be great. Now just let them toast, okay? A little more dill here for the garnish. We'll plate it up, and then I gotta also take a photo of it. Now just off the heat, I'd go in with some zest here. I would say the zest of 1 whole small lemon, Meyer lemon. Okay, and just give it a toss. The heat's off, but it's still sizzling. The pan is hot, okay? And that's gonna go on top. Yummy, yummy. Okay, so we're putting a bit more dill on here. And then a good bit of the breadcrumb. Ooh, here it is, the creamy vegan Meyer lemon dill pasta. I think mine looks better than the New York Times one, personally. We'll just put a little squeeze from these little lemon butts on at the end. I don't think it needs much more, to be honest. It's pretty lemony. Not overpowering, very delicious. From what I tasted, I haven't really had a proper bite, but just from like the testing as I was going. Let's get a big old bite here. Get a little glass of Pinot Grigio going and you have yourself a perfect little meal. I also think bucatini's the way here. Now you might want to double the amount of breadcrumbs. I think I actually will. Because as you go, you're going to be like, I need more breadcrumbs, and you're going to want to shake them on as you go, which is what I want to do. Every layer needs a breadcrumb. I mean, maybe you want to plate it that way, but you also don't want them to get soggy. So I would say continue to sprinkle breadcrumbs as you eat. So yes, let's make a lot of breadcrumbs. I'll switch that in the written recipe. If you want more content, Eat It by Hot for Food is the place. It's my members only blog / website. You pay to become a member. There's lots of recipes already on there. So if you sign up for the annual option, it's $41.50. You get access to everything. And the latest issue has a bunch of video content, all vlogs actually. So it's kind of a robust issue, whereas the past issues are all recipe content, mostly written recipes, but every issue has a video tutorial for one of the recipes, just so you know. And those recipes aren't published anywhere else. So definitely sign up, become a member. It's how you can support me directly. Of course, like and subscribe and follow here as well, because I will be posting regularly. And this recipe is on hotforfoodblog.com. Click the link below. And if you try it, let me know. Peace.